If you say you've never seen Jessica Alba kick all the rascals' asses like a real dark angel,
hey, what the hell are you doing? Ow!
How this honey dances on the screen, or how she saves the world, we'll never believe you. Jessica Alba was unquestionably everyone's crush in the 2000s, but later on she seemed to disappear from the screens for more than 10 years. So where and why did our favorite actress disappear, and what fruits of her past decisions does she reap now? And which role does the Catholic Church play in all this? Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and let's be nostalgic together. Here we go! Jessica Alba's acting career began at a fairly young age when she was only 12 years old, starting off on random episodes here and there, moving up to series shows and then to whole show seasons herself. The actress finally got into the Dark Angel and blew everyone's minds, both literally and figuratively. The role of Max Guevara in the sci-fi series Dark Angel earned her a Golden Globe nomination, the Teen Choice Award for Choice Actress, and a Saturn Award for Best Actress. The image of a strong and sexy super soldier girl turned on America so much that men could not stay away from their TVs, while women made her into a symbol of feminism and emancipation. Seriously, this phenomenon has even been studied at the University of Melbourne.
Max, the archetypal modern feminist hero, a young woman empowered to use her body actively to achieve goals.
Sometimes words do become prophetic. This thesis, to use her body actively to achieve goals, will further have a great impact on Jessica Alba's life. We'll talk about it a little further because in the meantime, Jessica had films popping up one right after another. A sexy hip-hop choreographer in Honey, an exotic dancer in neo-noir crime anthology film Sin City. Even her invisible woman in Fantastic Four turned out to be so hot.
No, it's a fun show, and I, ride a motorcycle and do, kick people's butts and.
Is there danger?
There's danger.
Is there uncertainty?
There's a little uncertainty. Yeah, there's actually a lot of uncertainty.
Watching the show could perhaps make you anxious?
Yeah, but then you always know that my character's gonna win in the end. That's what's good.
But Alba attracted the public's attention not only with her films. At the age of 15, she was literally kidnapped from the set of the TV series Flipper, where she played the girlfriend of a dolphin. And let's be honest, it wasn't for the sake of the dolphin that everyone watched that show. The kidnappers were never found, and the case was closed due to a lack of evidence from the actress herself. To this day, Jess has never publicly commented on the situation in question, and there is still a rumor that it was all just a crazy PR scheme. But even aside from crazy stories like this, she had more than enough attention surrounding her. From 2001 till 2014, the actress graced nearly every list of the most beautiful and alluring women in the world, featured in basically every magazine you can think of. In 2010, the media was buzzing with the news that a 21-year-old Chinese woman sought a plastic surgeon to help her emulate Jessica's look. But despite her super sexy public image, she has never appeared completely nude in any film. Not even in her role as a stripper in Robert Rodriguez's Sin City.
I don't do nudity, I just don't. Maybe that makes me a bad actress, maybe I won't get hired in some things, but I have too much anxiety.
The latter half of the 2000s marked her rom-com era. Yet, critics were not very kind, showering her with Golden Raspberry nominations for Worst Actress. Alba began expressing concerns in interviews about being typecast as just a sexy babe with limited range. Now eager to shift this perception, she decided to take on two dramatic roles: a math teacher in An Invisible Sign and a blind cellist in The Eye. Unfortunately, these roles didn't quite alter her image as she had hoped.
In my career as an actress, I have been confronted with a lot of stigma or barrier because I think they saw me as, I wouldn't say vapid or dumb, but they don't really see any more depth than you.
As new movies debuted and fresh faces emerged in Hollywood, Jessica Alba simply faded away from both the screen and the public eye. Of course, speculation spread like wildfire that her diminishing fame was to blame, suggesting she just couldn't cope. However, we now know the truth, and it was simply that a different calling awaited this remarkable woman, a mission to genuinely make a difference in the world. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, because the most fascinating part is just ahead. It turns out Jessica didn't even disappear. She's still been acting all along, albeit in B and C category movies that might not ring a bell to you. We're talking about The Love Guru, Barely Lethal, or Dear Eleanor. This shift was due to a dramatic change in her personal priorities. Nowadays, she's embracing different roles, one of them being a mom who, though not always successfully, humorously attempts to show her kids she's anything but dull.
And then my daughter, my older one, she's like, Mom, it's just so embarrassing whenever you try to prove to us that you're cool. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm that person.
Another hat she wears is that of a successful entrepreneur. In 2012, she co-founded The Honest Company, offering an array of household goods, diapers, and body care products. The driving force behind their venture? A commitment to crafting a safer environment for not just her own kids, but for children everywhere.
For me, it was like I kind of didn't feel like I had anything to lose because no one believed I could do it in the first place. And if you're doing something that you haven't done, or has never been done before, right? Really, what do you really have to lose?
But Jess's ambition to improve the world doesn't stop at product creation. She's out there actively lobbying for legislation to regulate toxic substances, championing white shark conservation, and collaborating with charities dedicated to aiding children globally. Plus, she's set to star in and executive produce a Disney Plus documentary series with the working title Parents Without Borders, exploring diverse family dynamics, beliefs, and cultures worldwide. Now, it would be fair to think that she's solely focused on children, and that's what led to her shift from an acclaimed actress to an entrepreneur. But that's not quite the whole story. Remember earlier when we mentioned her concerns about being pigeonholed as the perpetual sexy cutie? Well, ironically, that's precisely what unfolded, largely due to her own selection of similar roles.
I was young, I was afraid of being criticized, and I wanted to appease everyone.
Could the church have influenced her role choices? What does religion have to do with it, you might wonder? Well, Jessica's family devoutly followed Catholicism, never missing a service, and like many, she sought answers to profound spiritual questions at her church. Yet for her, rather than guidance, she encountered feelings of guilt and shame.
Older men would hit on me, and my youth pastor said it was because I was wearing provocative clothing when I wasn't. It just made me feel like if I was in any way desirable to the opposite sex, that it was my fault, and it made me ashamed of my body and being a woman.
So Alba chose to part ways with the church to live her life on her terms, a decision that clearly suited her well. And honestly, as you can see, you can become an angel even without visiting religious institutions, cause that's exactly what she is. However, her tendency to portray hot beauties appears to be a form of rebelliousness against the doctrines that once made her feel ashamed and insecure.
Since I was a little girl, if someone was confining me or giving me boundaries, I felt such a drive to break out of them.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes it's the most beautiful people who are plagued with insecurities throughout their entire lives? This remains true even for the world's biggest heartthrobs.
And then when I became a mom and I stopped acting full time, and they say that your daughters take your beauty away from you. Well, they did. So I cried a lot and I became best friends with my esthetician because I basically saw her every other day.
But Jess, seriously, when a cop halts his patrol car just to undress and show you're close to his heart, how can you harbor any doubts about your allure?
You're in the shower with him, he's washing you.
Returning to our main point, it's the choices Jessica made that transformed her into a successful entrepreneur with a vibrant acting career, a devoted husband, 3 children, Haven, Honor, and Hayes, and 2 dogs with distinctly human names.
And then what are the dogs' names?
That is Lucille and Dolores.
Ah, I like that you name your children weird things and your dogs normal things.
It's true. True story.
Sometimes people who are trying to hurt us in some ways are actually doing us the biggest favor by motivating us to reach the greatest heights. And Jessica Alba is a vivid example of this. And personally, we are very happy that her films continue to brighten up our lives.
You know, it's like I really believe that if your heart's in the right place and you are intelligent and asking the right questions, you're going to figure it out.